Dear students, I am taking the chapter coordination compounds. Coordination compounds or complex compounds are a type of addition compounds in which the central metal atom is surrounded by negative ions or neutral molecules through dative bonds. As I mentioned, it's a type of addition compound. So I have to explain what is meant by an addition compound. So for that, when two or more stable compounds are mixed in a stoichiometric ratio, some crystalline compounds are formed and they are called addition compounds. These addition compounds are divided into two types. They are first one, double salt. Second one, coordination compound or complex compound. So in order to differentiate this double salt and coordination compound, I am illustrating two different examples. In the first case, when saturated solution of potassium sulfate and aluminium sulfate are mixed and heated till crystallization point is reached, we get an important compound called potash alum of the formula K2SO4 Al2 SO4 thrice 24 H2O. So this potash alum is an example for double salt. Then for coordination compound, when aqueous ammonia is treated with green color nickel chloride solution NiCl2, this green color solution changes to purple color and on evaporation we get purple crystals of Ni, NH3 6 times Cl2 is formed. If we notice these two examples, we can differentiate the double salt and coordination compound. The first difference is that when this potash alum is dissolved in solvent like water, it splits into constituent ions like K+, Al3+, and SO4 2-. That means this double salt exists only in solid state. That is the first difference. Then second difference, it loses its identity in solution. That means it dissociates into constituent ions. Loses its identity in solution. Third difference is that when we look these metal ions or ions, it shows its normal valency. Potassium +1, aluminium +3, like that. Metal exhibits its normal valency. In coordination, this particular coordination compound, if we dissolve in a solvent, water, it splits into ions Ni, NH3 6 times 2 plus 2Cl minus. Then the first point about this coordination compound is that it exists in solid state as well as in solution. Second one, it do not loses its identity completely in solution. That means this NiNH3 6 times do not splits to form Ni2 plus ion or NH3 NH4 plus ions like that. So we get a complex ion NiNH3 6 times 2 plus. So that is why the second difference is that it do not loses its identity completely in solution. Then the third one is that the ions, the neutral ions or neutral molecules is surrounded by the central metal ion more than its normal valency. Here the 6 ammonia molecule is surrounded to nickel Ni2 plus more than its normal valency. Metal exhibit more than its normal valency. So I am explaining again. The first difference between this double salt and coordination compound is that it exists only in solid state, double salt. Coordination compound, it exists both in solid state as well as in solution. Second difference, it loses its identity in solution, this double salt, whereas coordination compound do not loses its identity completely in solution. Third one, the metal ions exhibits its normal valency, whereas in coordination compound metal ions beyond its normal valency, it exits more than its normal valency. Now I am explaining the coordination compounds in detail. So for that I am writing that example. NiNH3 6 times Cl2. When this coordination compound is dissolved in solvent, it splits into ions NiNH3 6 times 2 plus and 2Cl minus. Here we get a complex ion. So that is why this coordination compound is also called complex compounds, or in other words we can say that compound that containing complex ion is called complex compounds. Again, this species that is attached to this central metal atom or ion through coordinate bond, that is why this compound is called coordination compound. The transition metals forms a large number of coordination compounds because of the first reason, smaller size of metal ion. Second one, high ionic charge. Third one, due to the availability of vacant d orbital for bond formation. So why this? Transition metal forms a large number of complex compounds. The reason, the first one, because of the smaller size of transition metal ion. Second one, high ionic charge. And the third one, availability of vacant d orbital. Again, this naturally occurring complex compounds or coordination compounds are vital for living organisms. For example, chlorophyll. So these are the examples for this coordination compound. Chlorophyll is a coordination compound of magnesium, hemoglobin. It's a coordination compound of iron, vitamin B12, it's a coordination compound of cobalt. And also this coordination compound find uses in textile dyeing, metallurgical process, electroplating, and also medicinal industry, and also it is used as coordination compound, used as industrial catalyst, and also as analytical reagents. So these are the applications of this coordination compound. Next I am explaining the Werner's theory of coordination compounds. This was the first theory to explain the formation of coordination compounds, and this theory is also called as coordination theory. So for this postulates, or before going to the postulates of this Werner's theory, Werner prepared a number of coordination compounds, and he studied the physical and chemical properties of that coordination compounds by some simple experiments. And he proposed the concept of primary valency and secondary valency of metal ion. If we consider the binary compounds like Cr, Cl3, Pd, Cl2, etc. So having a primary, the chromium primary valency 3 and palladium's primary valency 2. And he noticed, Werner noticed that he considered when cobalt 3 chloride is treated with ammonia solution, he get different coordination compounds CO, Cl3, 6NH3, COCl3, 5NH3, COCl3, 4NH3. He treated these compounds with silver nitrate solution AgNO3. As you all know that this is a test for chloride ion. So when silver nitrate solution is added to a compound containing chloride ion, we get a white curdy precipitate silver chloride. So when he treated these compounds with the silver nitrate solution, he get, suppose here I am taking 1 mole of this compounds with a silver nitrate solution. The first compound he get 3 AgCl, second one 2 AgCl, third one 1 AgCl. That means in the first compound the 3 chloride ions that are ionizable part, the second one the 2 chloride ions only are ionizable, the third one only 1 chloride ion is an ionizable one. From this experiment he formulated or he developed a structure for this coordination compound. The first compound he written as CO NH3 6 times Cl3. The 3 chloride ions that is present outside this coordination sphere, that is an ionizable part. Whereas in the second compound CO Cl NH3 5 times Cl2. Only 2 chloride ions that we can see outside the coordination sphere. In the third example, CO Cl2 NH3 4 times Cl. Only 1 chloride ion is present outside the coordination sphere. That means The species outside the square bracket is only the ionizable part. Inside the square bracket, it is not ionizable. Then he explained the primary valency and secondary valency. Based on that above experiments, I am explaining the postulates of Werner's theory. First one, in coordination compound, metal ion exhibits two types of valencies. They are primary valency and secondary valency. Second postulate, primary valency is ionizable and is satisfied by negative ions, and in modern terminology the primary valency refers to oxidation number of metal ion. Third postulate, secondary valency is non-ionizable. It is satisfied by negative ions or neutral molecules that we can see inside the coordination sphere, and in modern terminology it refers to the coordination number of that metal atom. The fourth postulate is that about the directional property. That means, if you consider this example, Ni, NH3, 6 times Cl2, the 6 ammonia molecule is attached to this nickel atom in a special way of arrangement, and that spatial arrangement is explained in the fourth postulate. So here 6 ammonia molecule is there, so you know that it occurs octahedral geometry. If 4 species is attached to this central metal atom, it exhibits either tetrahedral geometry or square planar geometry. So these are the 4 postulates of this Werner's theory. First one, coordination compound metal atoms or ion exhibit two types of valency. They are primary valency and secondary valency. Second one, primary valency is ionizable and are satisfied by negative ions. In modern terminology, it refers to the oxidation number of metal ion. Third postulate about the secondary valency, it is non-ionizable. Here we can see the species inside the coordination sphere and they are satisfied by negative ions or neutral molecules, and in modern terminology it refers to the coordination number of metal atom. Fourth one about the spatial arrangement of this species to the central metal atom so that we get definite geometry for the molecule. Now I am explaining the important terms in coordination compounds. So these are the important terms: coordination entity or coordination sphere. Second one, central metal atom or ion. Third one, ligands, and different classifications are there, then I am explaining that. Fourth one, coordination number. Fifth one, coordination polyhedra. Sixth one, oxidation number, and the seventh one, homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. So for that, if we consider this coordination compound, the first term, the coordination entity or coordination sphere, that means the particles or the species that is present inside the coordination sphere. So here 6 NH3 molecule is attached to this chromium metal atom or ion, and this species, this entire species inside the square bracket is called coordination entity. Outside the coordination sphere, we can see 3 chloride ions, and this is called counter ion. So inside the sphere, coordination entity, and this outside particle, it is called coordination counter ions. Second term, central metal atom or ion, that is inside the coordination sphere we can see some species are attached to this central metal atom. Here it is chromium. So we can define this central metal atom is some negative ions or neutral molecule is attached to a metal atom or ion, and that is called the central metal atom or ion. Here the central metal atom is the chromium. The third one is ligand. To the central metal atom, some species are attached, and that species are called ligands. Here 6 NH3 groups are attached to this chromium, and this NH3 is called, here this NH3 is the ligand. Fourth one, coordination number. Coordination number means the number of ligand donor atoms that is directly attached to this central metal atom. Here 6 NH3 groups are attached to this chromium, and this coordination number of this central metal atom is 6, because here 6 NH3 groups are attached to this chromium. So this 6 is the coordination number for this particular coordination compound. And fifth one, coordination polyhedra. It refers the spatial arrangement of this ligand in the central ion, so that we can define geometrically 6 NH3 ligands are there, and so it exhibits refers the spatial arrangement, and it is based on the 6 NH3 groups are there, so having geometry octahedral. So if coordination number 6, the geometry is octahedral, coordination number is 4, we get either tetrahedral or square planar. Then the sixth one is oxidation number. Oxidation number of a metal ion is all the ligands are removed along with its shared pair of electrons. We can find out the oxidation number of central metal atom. The steps to find out this oxidation number is that in order to find out the oxidation number of chromium atom, let be assumed as X. So X is the oxidation number of this chromium atom, and here 6 chloride ions are present outside the coordination sphere, so that we get 3 Cl minus. That means the coordination sphere is having plus 3 charge, and since NH3 group is a neutral molecule, the oxidation number or the charge of this NH3 group is 0, so that X plus 0 is equal to plus 3. So here the oxidation number of this chromium is plus 3, and we normally return this by writing the symbol of that central metal and the oxidation number that should return in parenthesis in Roman numerals. So this is a way of representing the oxidation number of a central metal ion. So based on the different types of ligands, the oxidation number of the central metal ions, different central metal ions varies. That we'll see in detail later. Then the seventh one, homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. Homoleptic complexes means same ligands are attached to the central metal atom, it refers to homoleptic complexes. For example, in this case 6 NH3 ligands, the same ligand is attached to this chromium atom. So this is an example for a homoleptic complexes. Whereas if we consider another example, Cr NH3 4 times H2O twice Cl3. Here 4 NH3 groups and 2 H2O molecules are attached to this chromium atom. So this is an example for a heteroleptic. So homo means same, hetero means different. So if same groups are present, it refers to homoleptic complexes. If different ligands are there, it refers to the heteroleptic complexes. So this is an example for heteroleptic complexes. This example is for homoleptic complexes.